Okay, today is Steamboat. Um, so, continuing on with what's in my cup. Today is right now, and it's like mid-morning now. It's 10:19. Um, so yeah, um, I guess I better look at my outline, which is over here. Right. So I think I like the what's in my cup. So I did it again. Um, and I really love this Steamboat cup because I love Steamboat because it's awesome, but it's also special because that's where I got married. If you didn't know, I got married in Steamboat um, at the top of the gondola, just past the top of the gondola, in where they hold Sunday services, and in my snowboard gear, my special wedding snowboard gear. So there's an about me for you, um, which is not on my outline. Not on my outline. Anyway, um, what is on my outline is this, and the main reason why I'm doing this now instead of waiting until later in the afternoon when the kids are sleeping. Right now they're watching Ninjago Lego show. But I wrote this video. I'm going fast because I really don't want you guys to read this. I'm going to read it to you. Uh, so I'm reading this book, which, let me get it again. I'm reading this book, my site, Daniel Siegel, which I wish I could remember how I found it or whatever. Oh, you know what? I think I was looking for a mindfulness workbook or books on mindfulness, and an Amazon commenter put a link to one of his YouTube videos. It might have been a TED Talk, or I don't know what it was. So I watched that. I think it was a TED Talk. I watched that and I was like, whoa, I must read this book. And so here I am. And this morning, during my quiet morning time, I I cracked it open, and I was on page 109, which I wrote down so I could go back and read it again. And I just had this revelation. And I'm looking at this to like help me remember what that revelation was. So here's what I wrote. I was reading the book, and I see clearly a pattern of thinking, how I changed approaches over time. I speculate this is how things came to be as they were. And what I'm talking about here, I mean, that sounds pretty like vague and weird, but basically, my whole life, I've known, maybe not my whole life, but like I want to say my like teens, middle to late teens, I came to realize that I could control certain things about how I think and how I want to look at things. And so basically, I came up with this, that and it's kind of a little bit speculation because I haven't done any like really crazy therapy work on this with any professionals. I mean, I want to, but I just, there's no like therapists out there that have really clicked with me. I had one. And she got promoted, and that was the end of that. Anyway, so as a child and pre-adolescent, I realized I think my mind, my thinking, and what I'm talking about here is like my left brain dominance versus my right brain dominance. And in this book, it goes on to tell you, about what that means. The right brain is connected more fully to the limbic system, which kind of modulates, or no, I don't know, modulates, regulates, controls, whatever, your bodily response and how that's processed in your brain, and also what people will call your feelings, I guess. Like it also is like your imagery stuff, and yeah, anyway. And the left brain is like the verbal thinking and the logical stuff. And in this section of the book that I read, it was talking about the left brain as being the or side. So you choose this or this, and the right side being the and side. So the way the right side thinks is it could be this and this, or both, or it's much more, it's less rigid. So, but what that means is it's also prone to chaos if it's not good at regulating your bodily signals, which mine, I don't think is very good at regulating. But anyway, so I think that I was balanced in those two ways of thinking as a child and pre-adolescent. And then when I got into my adolescence and teen years, especially in the early parts of that, you know, I think what I wrote down and what I believe my experience was just emotional chaos, which was, I suffered. I suffered it. It's not fun. And um, if you had a similar experience to me, no, that was awful. Anyway, suffering that and confusion, just confusion as to why, like why is everything so intense? Why do I get wound up and other people seem to just slough it off, like it's no big deal, whatever it was that was bugging me or offending me. Anyway, and then in my late teens and 20s, after suffering that for a few years through middle school and high school, I forced into my left brain, and that was the logic. Basically, I was just so done with feeling, at the mercy of my emotions that I tried to turn them off and ignore them and just force them down by suppression. And I just forced into a logical, it either has to be like this or like this, and just withdrew. And that was an interesting time. It was much more pleasant for me, I'm not gonna lie. So I still carry some of that with me, but I think now, I'm skipping over a giant part of my life that was really important. So I had an event in my life that I'm just going to refer to as a paradigm shift, because something happened where I realized that basically I broke my own paradigm, and I did something that I didn't believe in, and it just totally threw me out of control. Just confusion, pain, despair, I mean, the whole deal. And I became very depressed. And this coincided with my first year at Mines, which was the most academically challenging experience I've ever, and may ever in the rest of my life live through. So it was just a rough time. And then after that, I had a phase of really great stress, and that stress pushed me back into emotional chaos like I had in my adolescence, which was probably hormonal, but this time it was environmental, and it was so intense that I just went into complete chaos. The left brain suppressing of my emotions did not work, and so I had to seek outside help. And unfortunately, the help that I got was not the kind of help that's described in the book that I'm reading. Which that kind of help is more like training your brain and growing the connection. Like you can literally strengthen connections in your brain and stuff just by focusing your attention certain ways. Some people call it mindfulness. This book is a little bit more of a secular bent. But anyway, my people that I chose, just it went the prescription medication route, and so that was another phase in my life. It was a short phase of about a year, 2 years maybe. And these just flattened. They flattened everything. Everything was dulled. The left brain was dulled. The right brain was dulled. My emotions were in black and white. Really, maybe more like grayscale. Not even as much contrast as you would get from like an Ansel Adams, but more like a grayscale or like a half tone. That's my right brain talking. I just realized that. That's the imagery, like using to describe that experience. That would be a right brain thing. Learned that in the book today. And I'm very strong at that, and I have been my whole life. So maybe I don't know. Anyway, maybe that's part of who I am. Anyway, so yeah, so this prescription phase, made everything very dull. It also it dulled the other side too. Like I couldn't get words to come up with my experience, and then I didn't care about it. I didn't care enough to try to find the words. So this went on for quite a while, like 2 years, and I just realized like it couldn't live that way, and against the better judgment of all the professionals managing my care, I just stopped taking everything and stopped going to my appointments, which that is not the right choice. That's not the responsible choice for most people. Maybe not even for me. So I don't condone that, and it was very irresponsible. I'm super fortunate that it turned out okay and nothing bad happened, but you shouldn't do that, okay? Anyway, so from that period we come to the now. And the now started around, oh, I don't know, around the time, like a year or so before I had my daughter. And the now is sort of characterized by more balanced thinking. I'm using both sides, the logic and the words, also the pictures and the feelings in the body, sensations. But I'm super duper prone to like right brain outbursts, which would basically mean like I get into a big tizzy. Like I get all these bodily sensations. Well, and I'm just gonna call it like a rage. I fly into a rage. Isn't that nice? And usually there's like some kind of trigger involved. It could be something that my husband does, or it could be something that the kids do. Usually it's the kids, because I mean that's what I'm around them the most during the day. And yeah, and what'll happen is I'll get this flood of sensations. Like my head is tingly. It's kind of tingly right now thinking about this. My eyes twitching. My heartbeat starts to beat really fast, and I just get this tingly sensation all over, and everything's lit up in an angry way. I'm like tense. Muscles get tense. Heart starts pounding, tingly on the scalp. And if it's really bad, I'm like tingly all down like the middle of my back too. And sometimes if it's really, 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 really bad, my hands will start shaking. And then beyond that, even, I've experienced, I know this is a lot to process. And it's okay. I'm okay. Trust me. This doesn't happen very often, the shaking part, but my whole body can tremble also. And when I'm there, like that's just complete chaos. That's out of control. And that doesn't happen. That's happened one time in like years. So, Anyway, so these outbursts, right, they happen periodically. It's not like my constant experience. And I guess the whole point of reading this book, the whole point of making mindfulness and wellness a theme for this year for me, I like calling it a theme, not a resolution. Um, it's like it's time. It's time to like get that rid of that, to fix that. I just can't. Don't not can't. I just don't want to live with it anymore. It's not fair. It's not fair to my family. Um, or anyone else that it happens to end up on the receiving end of that. Um, it's just not fair, and it's not fair to me because it is painful for me. It seems like I'm pushing it all out, but there is the inside judge in those moments, and I'm aware of all of it. There's like a part of me that sees it all happening, but it's just powerless to like pull that mooring line in. It's like a raft, just like going out to sea, and then I just can't get the rope. I can't pull it back in, but I can see it just drifting off into crazy town. um, so anyway, that was like the about me that I was really going to share today. And also because I'm excited about this book that seems to like have sort of like the prescription to fix it. Like it goes through and it's telling me like here's what has helped in my practice to fix these people. Like here's their problems, here's what we did, here's how long it took. And I'm just like like over the moon. I'm so excited because like for the first time in a really long time, I not only like can see the path in like a conceptual way, but I feel like I can see the tangible like recipe for getting there, for like creating that concept in real life for me, not just as a airy fairy idea. Um, so there you go. So that's super exciting today. And let's see. Well, I was going to talk all about that. Wow, I've been talking for almost 20 minutes. I was going to talk about something else too. Of course, now that I've said that, I kind of have to say it, or I may wonder. The other thing I was going to talk about that was like a big thing that just happened today is I checked our savings account. And another theme in my life has been, or a theme that I want for 2014. And really, these are things I want for like my life. So that wasn't just like a accidental slip there, but I want to bring the simplify and minimize theme into my life right now. Current focus. That's the current focus. So, and oh right, so and I wrote down liberate myself, and what I mean by that is, I use buying stuff to fill a hole in myself, and that hole needs to be filled in a healthy way that doesn't drain the savings account. Right, so there you have it. And really, like, I don't want people to like freak out. All is well, okay? But these are just like things that you have to consider if you don't want to like wake up one morning and have your car repossessed or whatever. Like preventative maintenance. That's what this is. Um, and so what I was thinking, and this can now tie into like this is a gratitude blog, is the original intention, or why I actually started. Um, so I think maybe like just the wake up call of having it lower than is comfortable for us. And that level is different for everyone, but I think it is a blessing in disguise because I have been struggling as a lot of you know, because I frequently talk about this on Facebook, and I've talked about it on my blog. In fact, the last post I made months ago was on the topic of consumerism, habitual consumerism. It just like, it's like I have no control over it. And I think this motivation, it's almost like, okay, well, you're going to have to suck it up and create control where it did not exist before. Or, you know, like just a motivator that's more than just like, oh, this is a goal I have for out there someday to achieve, but no real like urgency. Well, now I feel a little bit of urgency, and that's good because that is a powerful motivator, and I think it's gonna work. And I've made some changes already. I took all my credit cards out of my wallet. I deleted them off of my Amazon account, and my friend Becky is the one that gave me that idea. The last time I posted about this on Facebook, which was like months ago. No, maybe 2 months ago. Anyway, yeah, so I did that, and I'm going to try and do a primarily cash existence here for a while. Oh, what's this? Oh, pick up Dagny from preschool. Except today she has the day off, so we don't have to do all that running around, which is another thing I'm happy for today. Normally I would think to myself, oh, I don't get those 2 hours of peace and serenity, which really they aren't, because Bodhi's here anyway. But I mean, it is. It's easier when there's only one kid around. But actually, today I had a whole different experience of it in that, like, I don't have to run around. I don't have to load everyone into the car, take them to preschool, take them upstairs, go back to the car, put them in the car, drive home, go back 2 hours later, do it all again. I mean, it really is like that for me most days. That's how I feel. Anyway, right. So, but what I was talking about before I went off on that tangent is what was I talking about? Oh yeah, the blessing in disguise of just being motivated, or motivated by a little bit of urgency. I think that is good, and I think when the urgency goes away, hopefully in a couple weeks, I'm hoping that this can have like been, I don't know, like a powerful enough experience that that I'll continue to maintain some of the changes, and I think in that time, if I'm able to work on my mindfulness practice, which I haven't been doing like intentionally like I am with this vlog, but I have been doing it just like randomly, just throughout the day. But that's gonna have to change. But anyway, I'm hoping that all of this will sort of coalesce and create just more awareness and more control of all the impulses that have sort of contributed to the whole situation in the first place. But there we have it. I better stop because holy heck, if you have stayed with me for almost a half an hour of random talking and rambling, I thank you. And before it gets any longer, I'll let it go. Have a good day.